Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. Here to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling. Hope you guys had a great weekend. It is Labor Day. Happy Labor Day for each and every one of you. I hope you guys are enjoying it with your family, hanging out, having a good time, barbecuing with some friends, having a, getting your drink on. Just kidding. No. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do not, we don't, we don't, we, what is it? Oh my God, what's the word? Oh, it's killing me. Uh, Anyways, hope you guys are having a great time. Yeah, let's go ahead and dig on into this podcast. Thank you so much for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today. Obviously, we're going to talk about some WWE Smackdown. Kind of want to talk about the parts that really, honestly, weren't such a kind of hidden under the radar in terms of Bash at Berlin. Obviously because we had a lot of that. We have a lot of that when we were in our third segment, and then we're going to talk about in our second segment. We have our Monday Night Raw preview. Make sure you catch that. We're going to talk. We're going to throw a little bit of prediction and analysis of what's going to go on heading toward WWE Bad Blood. A third segment, we're going to cover all of what happened at WWE Bash at Berlin. Fourth segment, we're going to talk about all NXT No Mercy. We're going to talk about that. In our fifth and final segment, we're going to talk about the WWE Women's Speed bracket. I'm going to unveil it. I'm going to talk about it. Maybe throw a little bit of predictions, a little bit for the first round. Don't want to get too overzealous. Although I did predict the men's, WWE Speed, but that was pretty easy. Obviously, I knew once when they created that it was going to be for Ricochet. So yeah. All right, guys, before we get into any of that, I want to remind you guys to hit up that super chat. Whether if you got a burning question or a hot take in terms of professional wrestling, or just something you've been dying to get off your chest and you want to share. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we are absolutely all ears. The show is all about keeping the conversation lively and making sure your voice is part of the mix, so don't be shy. Drop your thoughts in the chat, and if you really, really, really want to make sure your comment or question gets noticed, why not use that super chat? Just hit that $ below the chat box, and it's guaranteed that your question and comment will be featured on the show. Plus, it's a great way to support our channel. Your super chats helps us keep the lights on and bring you even more awesome wrestling content. So we are absolutely super grateful for each and every one of you guys who join us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep this party going. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together, we will make sure this show is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, if the super chat is not your thing, remember we still have the GSMCpodcast.net. Hit up the tips and donations link. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Give me some of your predictions. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network, and here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. So send in those super chats, those super stickers, because I super love you guys. All right, let's talk about some. Okay, got that. There we go. Let's talk about some WWE. Let's talk about some SmackDown. SmackDown. All in all, I thought it was a pretty good episode. You know, um, for me, it was kind of like you saw SmackDown at Bash at Berlin, but I think it was just for the WWE Championship. Obviously, you saw, the open challenge between the LA Knight and, Ludvig Kaiser, which was a great match. All in all, I thought it was a great match. I think it was important for Ludvig Kaiser. This match it definitely gives people the notion, gives people just the thought of, can Ludwig Kaiser eventually be a singles champion? And I think he can. I think 1,010% he can. He showed it when he was fighting the LA Knight. I still kind of feel like the LA Knight belongs in the heavyweight division, but oh my God, there's such discrepancy between the United States Championship contenders and the WWE title contenders. Usually, there's not a lot of that. When you saw WCW, you had the World Championship, then you also had the Television Championship. Nothing really, but you also had the United States Championship. But it was like I don't know. I feel like it. It was like it kind of separated the superstars better that way. Excuse me, sorry. It's hot, sweaty, sweat in my eye. Um, so here on SmackDown, I feel like they need a little bit more big guns. Main eventers, I can only think of three. Obviously, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and Randy Orton. There's a lot of people knocking on that door, like the LA Knight, like Kevin Owens, and I still don't see Solicico as a main Carter, but we'll get into that later. So the LA Knight was able to successfully retain his WWE United States Championship against the German Ludvig Kaiser, obviously coming home to a standing ovation. It was kind of cool to kind of, see him in that, in Germany, you have Gunther and you have Ludwig Kaiser. They're going to be in that babyface role, which was, kind of already, predetermined and anticipated. That's the reason why they had Ludwig Kaiser answer the open challenge instead of maybe including somebody like Solo Sikoa, maybe Roman Reigns or maybe John Cena or something like that. But all in all, I felt like it was overall a good match, good match. Michael Cole said as soon as we came on the air that it was the first time they've been in Germany for 27 years. Michael Cole was actually announcing next to Wade Barrett. I kind of like that. I know when WWE Smackdown comes to the USA Network, there's going to be I think they're going to be on SmackDown. I think it's going to be him and Corey on SmackDown, and then on Raw. Oh, I forgot their names. Oh, but just I don't I I've never seen. Well, I pretty sure. I don't want to say I've never seen them before because they're like, "Hey, Eric, like you're a wrestling fan. What do you mean you've never seen them before?" But to be honest, they're not really any big names like going on WWE Raw. And then, Raw only has about a couple more months until it is aired on Netflix on the streaming services. I hope that WWE really extends out to re-sign Mauro Ranallo. I feel like that would be really great for the announce team for Monday Night Raw. Keep him away from Corey Graves because Corey Graves was kind of a jerk and kind of bullied him to get out of WWE, which is all bad. That's the reason why I kind of don't like Corey Graves, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Next, we had Apollo Crews teaming up with Baron Corbin. This team is actually pretty legit. I like them. They're a pretty decent tag team. I feel like after a couple of more tag team bouts under their belt, they're going to be seriously considered as one of the main tag team contenders on WWE SmackDown. Because right now, like I kind of mentioned so much before in previous podcasts, that it seems like in WWE, the tag team division is you kind of have three guys, kind of like that's how it's always been, ever since the early 2000s with the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardy Boys. And then, in like the Ruthless Aggression era, where you kind of had to force teams like Batista and Rey Mysterio. You had the, create rated RKO with Randy Orton and Edge. And, then it went to the New Day team going against the Usos, and a lot of the time I feel like the WWE tag team division needs a reboot. I feel like it needs a reboot 1,010%. I feel like on WWE NXT it's pretty good. I feel like it's pretty good. On AEW I like it. It could be better. On TNA I think they're doing great. On Ring of Honor I think they're doing fantastic. But overall, I know WWE needs a serious reality check in terms of the WWE Tag Team Championship division. Maybe just make it one division, kind of make it like the women's division. Um, obviously you do have the WWE champions and you have the WWE World Tag Team champions. But, it's not the same when you have somebody like Austin Theory and Grayson Waller holding those titles. For me, it kind of denounces the name of the tag team division in general. I feel like it, kind of puts a heavy burden on the tag team belts because, but then again, I don't want to sound like a huge hypocrite because I'm rooting for Sami Zayn and Jey Uso to win the tag team title. So I know that could be a little hypocritical, but, I don't know. Like, if there's such few tag teams to be successful, you know, obviously with the implementation of the new young bloodline, Tongaloa and Tomatonga, who won the tag team titles way too fast, might I add. That's my belief. They kind of have a stronghold on the tag team division with that. I feel like that's the only reason why they kind of had those secondary belts because usually, even, when it comes to the WWE Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship, usually one title, there's someone has a stronghold on that, and also the women's title and the World Women's, like there's reasons why they have two belts. There's a reason why they have two belts. Obviously, you don't want to have too many. I know AEW is being constantly criticized for having too many belts, but at this point in time in wrestling, how there's so many wrestlers, so many talented superstars in the women's division, in the men's division, men's tag team, even women's tag team. It's, I don't know, I just feel like it's appropriate. It's appropriate, especially with the new, merging of the TKO holdings with the UFC and WWE. You know, the UFC has a bunch of belts too, but, because it is a combat sport. It is a combat sport. It's, full contact. So I feel like there's a little less hate, I guess you can say, because you're like, okay, you kind of have to have weight classes. You have to have weight classes. I've kind of, advocated this to kind of come to WWE. I would love to see WWE have like a welterweight championship or maybe like a bantamweight championship, kind of like a, glorified cruiserweight championship, or like something for the women's as well. That's why the secondary titles are in motion. The WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, also the WWE Women's United States Championship is in the works. So I don't know. All in all, I feel like it could be better. The tag team division could be a hell of a lot better. But under the Triple H Palovek era, I feel like it's growing pains. We're taking small steps toward a better future, and yeah, honestly, can't wait to get totally excited. For Legado del Fantasma, they were able to pick up the victory today because they cheated. They cheated. Um, Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin. I hope this doesn't encourage them to break up. You saw them backstage in a promo later on in SmackDown between Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, where Grayson Waller once again kind of putting words in Austin Theory's mouth, and Austin Theory's starting to grow tiresome of that. And I think this is a babyface turn that I think a lot of the WWE universes want. This is what I want. I feel like Austin Theory is a very talented superstar. I feel like, the United States Championship, it's good for him, but I don't think it doesn't make it. I don't know. It just doesn't make up status quo. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like he's better than that. I can see him in the main event, kind of position. He's gotten compliments before, from veteran wrestlers like Randy Orton, like John Cena, who believe that Austin Theory has a lot of potential to hold a WWE title. And I feel like that'll all work out when you kind of get rid of this whole you know rugged tag team division on WWE SmackDown. All right, next we see in a promo that Solo Sikoa addresses the not NXT, addresses next week's tag match. So you have you're gonna have the Bloodline taking on DIY, going up against the Street Profits, and just the mere fact that the Bloodline wasn't really featured on a WWE PLE, I feel like it overall hurt the I feel like it hurt the bloodline. I do. I believe 1,010%. A lot of people think that once when you hear the bloodline, you think of success. You think of them being kind of relatable to everything that WWE wants to kind of set forth. And they kind of took a seat, on the bench. It's kind of like seeing, one of your star players take a seat on the bench, and you're like, dude, what are they like? It should be, because I want to see more of this Solo Sikoa storyline. I do. I feel like Solo Sikoa, what he's doing right now with his new young bloodline, attacking Roman Reigns, attacking Paul Heyman, getting rid of Jimmy. And, he said he's coming for the WWE Championship. So whatever that means, he's gonna fight Cody again. I don't really believe it. And I don't know. I feel like Solicico was pushed way too early, and you're kind of seeing that right now with them not being on a WWE PLE. I feel like it's kind of stuck in that same box, in terms of hey, did we kind of overstep our boundaries here? Did we kind of force the subject a little bit? Should we have kind of waited for Roman to come back before Solo Sikoa started becoming, this larger than life, or he should have got a. I thought it would have been better for him and the storyline for this new young bloodline. Now, I'll keep it brief because we got to get through it all. Is that he needed some time to just plow through some guys, get some wins under your belt, become this dominant force ever since Roman left. And, you maybe had a month or, a month and a month and a half tops up top of that. But it just, I don't know, it just wasn't, it just seemed forced. And it still kind of does seem forced because he wasn't on WWE Bash at Berlin. Like he's not that relative. He's not that much of a big deal to be featured on something like, Bash at Berlin. So, I feel like that definitely hurt the sanctity. Also, just the name of the bloodline, and for upcoming weeks. But I feel like they're gonna, try their best to, kind of fix that. Next, we have Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes go face to face. Like I said, more or less kind of like a Bash of Berlin thing. Bitter that his title reign was tainted, and he only won the title because of Triple H, and that's true. 110% that's true. Kevin Owens hasn't held a singles championship in 7 years. He's last time he won was was the Universal Championship in 8 years ago, which is kind of crazy. I feel for Kevin Owens. He's a great superstar, but so far, I don't know. He's just been, you know, he's been wrestling in mid card matches, finding factions, turning on his partner, finding another faction, turning on his partner. And then, like, I don't know if right now it just kind of feels like overall just the same story in terms of, Kevin Owens and the WWE. But if they're hoping to, kind of keep him, under his contract, they got to do something with him. I 1,010%, I would contemplate, but most importantly, I would just, what, I would love to see a match between LA Knight and Kevin Owens where Kevin Owens wins the United States Championship. It's to the point where Kevin Owens has been, biting, clawing, and scratching his way up to the top and not really being shown any kind of respect here. So overall, I don't know. It's, last highlight he had was winning the tag team title with Sami Zayn of WrestleMania week 1 main event. No, week 2 main event, I think it was. No, wait, week 1. Damn it. No, week 2. I think it was week 2. Night 2, sorry. But I don't know. I think Kevin Owens could do a lot better. Like I said, Andrade loses against Carmelo Hayes. The series is tied 2-2. So we need a tiebreaker to happen. Giovanni Vinci cuts a good promo. Something that kind of randomly popped up. And, if you watch WWE Smackdown, you saw the cricket commercial between, where you saw the Alpha Academy, you saw Chad Gable and Otis, kind of being buddy buddy. Where I don't really understand why that commercial's still out. You probably will watch it on WWE Monday Night Raw tonight. Just giving you a heads up. And lastly, we have the WWE Women's Championship match contended in a street fight where you had the WWE Women's Champion Nia Jax defend her championship against Michin. It was kind of funny overall how Michael Cole brought up the fact that Michin was a former TNA Knockouts World Championship, which means that this full swing between TNA and the WWE is in full collaboration, which is great. I feel like they kind of understated a lot of the TNA talent because, it's TNA. It's TNA. A lot of people, oh, it's TNA. Like what Wesley likes to say to Zachary once is that, oh, you're just using the WWE title. I'm a WWE superstar. You're just a TNA wrestler. Like there's some kind of like indictment in being a TNA wrestler. So, doesn't mean you suck. Doesn't mean you're less better. There's a lot of great TNA. There's a lot of great wrestlers that stop in TNA, find themselves, then move on. There's some superstars that are amazing in TNA and they made it to the WWE and killed it. But thanks to WWE creative writing, before the Paul Levesque era, during the Vince McMahon era, didn't really work out. But I don't know. I thought it was kind of crazy. You saw Tiffany Stratton kind of contemplate and cashing in her Money in the Bank, and then you also saw Bailey make her return. She hasn't been seen ever since she lost the title to Nia Jax at SummerSlam just a month ago. All right, guys, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our second segment. We're going to talk about some WWE Monday Night Raw. So, hey, do not go anywhere.